So I'm back here in the project house, as I'm calling it, and it's been a while since I picked up the camera for it. Much has changed, and the bathroom is mostly finished at this point, just needs finishing touches. And but the current project, or current part of the project, I suppose, is refinishing these kitchen walls and in the hallway. The rest of the house is smooth. There's just a lot of holes that need to be filled from years of abuse, but that's fairly simple compared to retexturing these walls. So let's suppose get you up to speed with how that process is going. So the walls normally start off very bumpy like this. I then take a sander similar to this one or this one, depending on the size of the wall, and smooth out all of the bumps, which has already been done to this hallway wall. Bedrooms are down there, but it makes the walls smooth enough where skim coating them isn't a big deal. You could argue that I don't even have to skim coat at this point, but there are a lot of holes here that I know need to kind of blend in, so that sort of makes not skim coating it kind of tough. Now, after skim coating an entire wall and whatnot comes lots of sanding. So if you have access to a power sander or can buy one, by all means do. It'll make your job in life a lot easier. But the next step, of course, is a lot of sanding, which is where I'm at with this wall here and this wall here. And the wall actually comes out very smooth, and then all of these blotches from the color underneath will get primed over, of course, and make a very nice, smooth, finished product after paint, or primer and paint. The final product, after lots of sanding and then a coat of primer and then a coat of paint, comes out like this. A very normal, smooth wall. And if you're wondering, this is the bathroom that I'm standing in, which, as I said, is nearly done at this point. It's a big difference from whence it came from. I do, of course, think there's a toilet, but the bathroom's come quite a long way from where it was. This is my bathroom door that I am, one of the projects that I'm going to try and accomplish today is finishing that up and bringing it back to its original state, which was, nice, smooth, just a nice white door. If you're wondering, at some point in the house's life, there was a stove that vented out into the chimney, which is what this is. So there was, fortunately, a big hole that needed to be patched up there, so that's what all this mess is right there. The reason, of course, for spending the time to sand that down, or sand the bumps down, is to make it easier to skim coat with joint compound. It ends up taking a little bit less material, and it's easier to do than to have the fully bumpy wall, as I've discovered. Alright, so this section of wall right here has been spackled over. I have not sanded that at all, so there's still a couple steps left, and there's some more spackle that I have to touch up because there was a, I guess you would call it a chair rail here that broke up the wall in half. I've gotten rid of that. I'm just going to do, one solid color all the way, of course. So there's a couple spots I have to put some more spackle on before I can sand it. I did that wall with one coat of spackle yesterday now, which is still drying, but that's probably going to need some more work because that wall was far less flat. It had quite a bit more damage on it. I don't know if I showed it, but there used to be a hole there. There's no more hole there. If you're wondering, there was a crack in the ceiling here. So what I did is I filled it with joint compound, then put some drywall tape across the entire thing, and then of course put another layer of joint compound on top of that, and then textured it with a sponge actually to try and match the texture of the ceiling as best as I can. Texturing ceilings is sort of a or texturing any paint or anything is kind of a weird process, because without knowing exactly how the paint or your ceiling was textured, you're never going to get it exact. It's just sort of trying to blend it in as best you can, and there's some more blending on the edges I'm going to do, and then once you paint it, you'll never know that there was a crack there. Of course, I still have to do that wall, and I have to do that wall, but they're ready to go. I just haven't. What I've been putting off, or I've been putting it off for a long time and I really can't anymore, is the big wall, the hallway wall that needs to be covered over. I've done all of the sort of pre-prep work of filling in holes where they're like the chair rail or whatever you want to call it, the piece of molding that was there was nailed to the wall, and there was a bunch of nail holes from pictures and who knows what. This house has seen a lot of abuse, but I can't put it off any longer. So I am going to, oh yeah, I did that wall too. But now it's this wall. I'm putting it off for a long time, and I just need to get it done now. I can't wait any longer. I don't recall how much of the kitchen you've ever seen, but I've cleared a lot of stuff that I had sitting in here when I was working on the rest, the other parts of the house out. And there was a backsplash above that countertop and whatnot that I peeled off. It was some sort of weird peel and stick thing, so when I remove those cabinets, I'm going to have to sand all that crap off of there and, paint over and whatnot. Stove is also moved out of the way as well. One thing I'm going to do is rip up all these peel and stick tiles. I'm going to end up doing a vinyl floor through the section of the house like I had in the bathroom, so that means I'm going to end up peeling these tiles off and doing a decent underlayment under it. You could argue that I could technically stick a vinyl floor to this, but that probably, that's not necessarily the best or the most complete way to do it. The floor smells pretty bad, so that's one reason or one motivation of really peeling up all these tiles, and it's not like it really adds much cost, to be honest with you. No matter what, I have to buy the same amount of vinyl flooring. I'm adding, I don't know, probably like $50 of underlayment to put under there, but it's be worth it. So the amount and type of prep work that I go through to prep the wall for a retexturing is similar to that if you were to paint the wall, because you want to make sure the joint compound sticks to the wall and whatnot, and you don't run into any situations where there's contaminants underneath. So I just, you clean the wall, and you vacuum the wall off, and then you blow it off with air and whatnot, and then you just get a bunch of mud on your trowel and have at it. I'm sure a lot of you have opinions about what I'm doing, but I don't really care. So, like I said, here is the retextured part of the wall. Down there is smooth, but that was not. It was very bumpy. So I finished off retexturing that now, aside from letting it dry and then sand and then prime and then paint.